The United States makes history on Mars. Which Santa Clarita residents helped make it happen? We're bringing you to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena. Hello, I'm Ryan Haslam with your SCV NewsBreak for Monday, August 6th. NASA is back on Mars. Leon Warden joins us from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena to tell us how a few Santa Clarita residents helped make this trip to the Red Planet a reality.
Well, the United States is back on Mars, and we've come out to JPL to catch up with some Santa Clarita residents who had something to do with the landing of the Curiosity rover on the Martian surface. We had Santa Clarita people involved in every aspect, from designing the navigation system software to designing and testing this crazy landing system. And heck, the #2 guy in charge of the whole Curiosity Mars Science Laboratory project is Richard Cook, a resident of Canyon Country, and then it's now that it's on the surface, it's being passed off to Jennifer Trosper, who drove the Spirit rover in 2004. Now she's back to drive the Curiosity rover, and by the way, she lives in Canyon Country. Now, Richard and Jennifer are kind of busy today. They got a rover to drive and that sort of thing, but we did catch up with a couple of the people who were involved in the project, whose job, now that it's landed, is done.
Hopefully we prove that, we can do this, and still JPL is the only place in the whole wide world that has managed to actually land anything on Mars. And so the United States still continues to be at the head of the space race, especially when it comes to planets in the solar system.
It was about as picture perfect of a landing as you could have imagined. In all the tests that I ran, in the test bed, I've landed the spacecraft, 20, 40, 50 times, and that was more perfect than any landing I ever did in the test bed. It went tremendously. It was great.
It's a 350 million mile hole-in-one, as we like to say, and especially for this mission, when we had to really land in a teacup on Mars, we have to land inside of a crater, close to but not running into Mount Sharp, and not running into the side of the crater. But this crater, Gale Crater, was considered by the scientists to be of extremely high scientific value. The entire history of Mars is written into those rocks and all those sediments. And so if we could pinpoint it, drop it right in there and not break it, the scientific bonanza it's unrivaled. There's really no ceiling to what we're going to be able to find there.
Well, there you have it. The United States is back on Mars, and we at SCV TV are mighty proud of all the Santa Clarita Valley residents who had something to do with it. Ryan, back to you.
Police are still searching for a hit-and-run suspect. Officer Anderson Adrian Bryce of Castaic was in full uniform and driving his police-equipped motorcycle Sunday around 5:15 p.m. A man in his 20s driving a blue Ford Mustang changed lanes right in front of him, clipping the motorcycle and throwing the officer onto the pavement. Bryce suffered minor injuries to his legs, but his bike, which continued to the center divider, was severely damaged. The driver of the Mustang fled the scene. Anyone with information is asked to call the California Highway Patrol. And coming up after the break, it's a ride of a lifetime in a classic car for one Santa Clarita girl. Why our community is rallying support for this amazing young woman. Next.
SCV NewsBreak is brought to you by Action Family Counseling.
I've smoked bud since I was a little kid.
The night before I went to a rave and I was fried.
Yeah, I was addicted.
I used to want to kill myself, like, every day.
It's a slow death. That's all it is.
The city of Santa Clarita is encouraging healthy, active lifestyle for kids. On Saturday, August 18th, local kids will have a chance to try out several different sports at the 4th Annual Youth Sports Festival. This year, the event will be held at the Santa Clarita Sports Complex.
Our new location that we're very excited about is the Santa Clarita Sports Complex, and the reason we are is because you can include the aquatic center, the skate park, the sports complex, gymnasium, the sand volleyball courts. So now we have an even broader base that we can introduce to kids.
In addition to traditional sports like tennis, golf, football, and baseball, this year's kids can participate in some water sports too, like stand-up paddleboarding and kayaking. From Native Americans to Spanish explorers to gold rush pioneers and Hollywood movie makers, the Santa Clarita Valley has always had its share of legendary characters. A few local historians have put that colorful history to print. in a new book titled Legendary Locals of the Santa Clarita Valley. Co-authors E.J. Stevens, Kim Stevens, and Dr. Alan Pollock will be discussing the historical figures in their book during a lecture at the Saugus train station on Sunday, September 30th at 2 p.m. The event is free, and the talk will be followed by a book signing session. For more information, log on to scvhs.org. Our community has really pulled together something special here. An 18-year-old girl diagnosed with terminal cancer has less than 90 days to live. After a ride around Santa Clarita in a vintage 1957 Thunderbird, Melissa Grayson came home to a crowd of hundreds who had gathered on her front lawn to welcome her home.
We've made it our point in life to give her the best life that we can, and in the time that she has remaining, which is a little less than 90 days, we're trying to make every day a gift.
Melissa Grayson has Down syndrome. 2 years ago, she was diagnosed with stage 4 Wilms tumor, and after a series of surgeries, chemotherapy, and experimental treatments, she has stopped responding to medications. In June this year, doctors estimated she had less than 3 months to live. Now for the weather. A heat advisory is in effect for the San Fernando, San Gabriel, Santa Clarita, and Antelope valleys. We won't see much relief anytime soon either from these sweltering temperatures. The high reached 108 in Santa Clarita today, and it felt every degree that hot. Triple-digit temperatures are in the forecast for the rest of the week and into the weekend, with highs holding steady around 106 and 107. Health officials are warning folks that if you don't need to be outdoors, it's best to stay indoors. The Friends of Santa Clarita Public Library is offering you an opportunity to be a part of a special story as a sponsor at the city's new Old Town Newhall Library. The new library is slated to open on Saturday, September 29th. For amounts that range from $50 up to $10,000, sponsors can put their names on various portions of the new library. Some examples include the children's area, the story room, library stacks, computer lounge chairs, and 50 wood guest chairs. That's all we have for you tonight. For more Santa Clarita news, log on to hometownstation.com or scvnews.com. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Haslam.
SCV NewsBreak is brought to you by Action Family Counseling.